as thin as paper in here.
It is possible, and those kind of devices are what we would see in the future. The display thickness is what causes most of these designs to have the kind of thickness they have, and we have to protect the glass, which is in the display. Obviously, there is the printed circuit board, and it's got all of the chips in it, and that's going to add some amount of thickness, but the display is usually part of the reason why it's thick. Already our display with the glass is about half the thickness of LCD, because LCD has 2 sheets of glass, we only have 1. Whereas once we go into a plastic substrate, it'll get even thinner. Now, with our Triton display, Triton.
Yeah.
This is our color display. We've actually decreased the thickness. So this is roughly about 200 microns thick, the display itself.
Microamps.
Microns.
Okay. Microns, sorry.
Microns.
Yeah.
And micrometers.
Okay.
And we've reduced that further. The Triton display, our color display, is about half the thickness of our monochrome display. The idea there is when you put a touch screen on our display, the display comes much closer to the touch screen or the top surface of the device, and the chances of you making an error when you use the touch screen are reduced significantly.
So what is the screen? Is that the latest version of Color E-ink?
Correct. This is the latest version of our Triton imaging film in a demonstration unit, and we have started shipping these in mass production, and we have customers that are launching e-reader devices with the color display, and we are also in the process of taking the same display, increasing the pixel size, thereby allowing more light to get into the display, and we will be able to use that in signage type applications where the color will be much more saturated because we do have more light coming into the display. This is a high resolution display, and as one of the issues with the high resolution display is that it reduces the light going into the display material, and therefore the color is not as saturated as we would like.
So you cannot do backlight for sure?
We can actually do lighting, it would be called front light rather than backlight, and so in dark environment you can absolutely view this with a front light.
Does that help with the Color E-ink?
It will help with the Color E-ink, but as you know, once you put a light, you're going to consume more power. So this device will last for 2 months on a single battery charge. And we want to keep that kind of a feature on our color display as well. Because the color display is essentially a monochrome display with a color filter on top, the color filter itself does not consume power, so the power consumption characteristics of our color display is going to be very similar. And we don't want to lose that by putting a front light all the time. But that is an option though, for certain, either to read in the dark, or if you want to view a certain image with more light, you can definitely shine that. But it doesn't have to be a light that's embedded in the device. It could be just any external light, just like you know, when you read a ordinary printed paper based book or document, you would essentially use an external reading light, and that's what you can use with our display as well.
Does it use more power to change the page when it's color compared to black and white?
No, it's about the same amount of power. Because
even though there's more colors?
The color itself is derived from a passive material that does not consume power. It's not an active material. It's a color filter. We use RGBW color filter, and so that layer goes on top of our monochrome display. But the microcapsules that we use in our monochrome display are the exact same things that we use in the color display as well. So all of the success we've had in the monochrome space and all of the ruggedness and the proven reliability of this product transfers over to the color. So we, from day one, it's a very rugged and...
But how many colors are there?
This one has about 4,096 colors.
So when people compare, like, let's say an iPad with a Color E-ink, it would be number of colors, it would be saturation. What else is there that you need to so people say this, wow, you know?
Yeah. So we also make LCD technology. Our FFS LCD technology is the most popular in the entire tablet space, and we license the technology. We're very familiar with LCD products. And when you compare LCD with our color e-paper display, what you will notice is that this has all of the features of the monochrome e-paper display that the LCDs are not able to compete against in terms of readability. This has the best reading experience among all display types. It also is much lower power consumption compared to LCD. And obviously outdoors in bright sunlight there is no comparison because one display is readable, other is not. And there are other benefits too. When you make larger displays, let's say you make a display about this size with electrophoretic material, it's a lot thinner and lighter, so you can hold a very large display-based device in one hand, whereas most tablets you need to have both your hands because they're very heavy, and mostly it's because of the LCD.
So you have announced how many screens you are shipping this year?
Yes, we have publicly announced that our forecast for this year is between 25 to 30 million units only for the e-reader space. We obviously make a number of other products. There are many USB memory sticks. We have e-ink wristwatches, and we have a number of products including this indoor sign.
Are there many of these?
There are lots of them. So these are obviously smaller displays and they're shipped in larger volume. The e-reader space itself, we have forecasted between 25 and 30 million units this year.
Just 25, 30 million of kind of basically something like these?
Exactly. And for these type of devices. And in comparison, last year we shipped a little over 10 million devices. The previous year it was 3 million, and the year before it was 1 million, and prior to that it was 300,000 and 100,000. So we've been tripling in volume for a few
every
years.
Year.
Yes.
And like it's going to continue forever? Or
we wish. Eventually what will happen is that we will go after other market segments. Mostly the books of leisure reading is what is where we've been successful so far. And our intent is to go after electronic textbooks in schools. And when we do that, we believe that it will be a much larger market, and it'll create new market penetration for us. And obviously the volumes will go up, and we hope to sustain that. And we are also looking at the signage market. We're looking at a number of other non-publishing type applications to make this display successful.
The potential market is maybe 3 billion people, right? Who can read?
In the e-reader space, you're absolutely right. But these 3 billion people can also use e-ink wristwatches, they can use e-ink smart cards, they can use Wi-Fi devices with our display, they can have cell phones with secondary displays. There's a whole host of applications that they can use our.
All right. So, and can you just say a little bit about the FFS? What's going on with that?
The FFS technology, it's fringe field switching. It's a technology that comes out of this company called Hydis, and Hydis is part of E-Ink's portfolio companies. And it's a very interesting LCD technology that allows you to have a tablet that will work for 10 hours on a single charge, whereas most laptops only work for 3 or 4 hours. It's also much better color saturation, faster response time. It's a very unique technology that's the #1 choice in the tablet space. And also we are seeing applications in mobile phones, in TVs, and a whole host of other things with that LCD technology.
So it's totally on the market?
It is already in the market in mass production.
And has been for a while?
Has been for a couple of years now at least.
Couple of years, and it's only going to go up?
It continues to go up. But our model there is we mostly license our technology to other LCD companies that will actually produce a device.
All right. And because you have a small battery somehow in here, and if you had a battery in like let's say a thing like this, how would you charge the battery?
There are obviously several ways to do it. One would be you could potentially charge it with a solar cell in the future. You can also charge with the RF signal. We've got customers that have a display with an RF receiver. Just from the RF signal, there is enough power left over to energize the display. So it's very low power display technology.
To change a page once, there's like, you don't need so much power. Could you hit the device? What could you do?
It's microwatts.
Microwatts.
It's very, very low power.
Right, thank you.